Right, no worries, George. Do I put the in? I'll come back in, right?
No bother.
Cheers, pal. Bye.
Just what you were saying there, George, just before we went to Stardog and that. I mean, it's all ifs, buts, and maybes. And I was talking to my boy today, and we were saying, if we'd have managed to bring like Defoe and Davis in at the start, and
beginning of the year, Jimmy, aye.
It might have made a big difference to us and gave us a bit more continuity. So it's all ifs, buts, and maybes. But I'm the same as most guys. I just think that, and I'm not down in your team because I think we're still a work in progress. But I still think we've got a fair team. But they've not got the team era and the puddle drinkers. They think they've got a world beating team, and they certainly haven't got that. So but we need to bring quality in. It just can't be quantity. It's got to be quality.
That's right. I think the quantity was last year, Jimmy. I think it's
aye. Well, we brought in 15 new players, George, this season. Steven Gerrard came in June. They brought in 15 through the course of the season. 15 new players. We let 23 players go. So there's still a lot of work here getting done. We don't know who's fit in the background for next season. We're hoping Jamie Murphy's going to be there. We don't know about Graham Dorans and various others that are out in load. So I'm more than hopeful. I'm very confident that the gaffer will do the right thing. But it sticks in your throat a bit that you're thinking, what could have been, and it was by our own making that we're in this position. But we're still second. Some will see that as progress. Me, I'm kind of 50-50 in it. I don't see it as progress in the sign that, finishing behind them again. But it's second. We're playing some nice football, sometimes beautiful football. So I'm happy with my in the news. So I'm all right with that.
The thing is, Jimmy, I mean, last season was a lot of the times I'm not ashamed to say I was embarrassed with our club, our team last year, Jimmy. I've not been embarrassed this year. I've been proud, and for a manager as young as Steven Gerrard in his first season, and that, I hate using the word because it makes my taste curdle, but progress is the one you've got to always look for, Jimmy. As Rangers, you want to win things. You always want to be on top and win leagues and win cups, but at the end of the day, you've always got to make progress. And where we've been the last couple of years, we have had progress, and I think that's what you've got to. You've always got to look for at the end of the day, innit?
Well, George, there's the thing, guys. If you take what we've brought in there for next season, just the new Jones and Hasty, etc., we all know for a fact if you take your Kellys, your Hearts, whoever, they're not going to bring in anything that's really better than that next season. So therefore, I was always in agreement with Jimmy in the sense that if you thought about it, it's not about beating that other mob 4 times this season. It's how you do against the rest. But there's a wee bit of a change in that, because if you look at it, the games where we really have let ourselves down in has been against the rest. And if you look at it now, we're still finishing handsomely in second place with 15 new players, as Jimmy says, with a new management team. So if you look at it, guys, next season it is all about winning more games than what they do. For me, George, at the moment, what we brought in, I don't think that's anything like the quality that he's talking about. So the quality he's talking about, we have still to see into fruition who we're bringing in. And that's where it's going to tell.
It shows how far away we actually were, really. It shows how far away we actually were, Blue, when we're bringing in guys who are brought in this season, and it's still not got to the quality that we actually need. But it shows how far back we actually really were. I mean, Ken, we were a laughing stock for a while with the players we had playing for us and things like that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do it a wee bit different tonight, boys. We're going to do the manager's interview. It's about 20 minutes long, but we're going to split up into 5 or 6 different bits, Jimmy, just because I think it's maybe got to give us a wee bit more of a talking point instead of missing out bits. Because actually, for all we do slag after the press conference and things like that, it wasn't about Liverpool, Man City this week. It was about Rangers and Rangers signings and things like that. So Fox gets the first bit ready, Jim. We'll go and mute and we'll just listen to the manager's first bit and we'll take it through, all right?
There you go, pal.
Right, Fox. You got that interview ready there, Fox?
I'm sorry, I've got a wee bit of a problem at the background here.
Hey, bother, we can just play away with that now, Fox, and just tell us when you're ready anyway, because we're actually...
Well done, pal.
But we're actually, that's what we're saying there, Jimmy, because it was quite... I think we've actually been right in slagging after interviews, and Steven Gerrard's been batting them off in that, but when you listen to an interview today, I've listened to a fair wee bit today, Jimmy, and it was quite an interesting interview. It was about Rangers, it was about winning awards and things like that, so that's why I think splitting up into 6 different segments and it'll maybe be quite a good idea, and then we can get the where it's actually due, if you know what I mean, Jimmy.
His interviews that he's done this season are not just for us, but I mean even previous to that, when he was playing for Liverpool, etc. I mean he's a very intelligent man, and he's very fluent in the way he speaks to us, and that's what I want to see. I know we've had good managers in the past, but I agree with a lot of the guys are saying it as a speaker about all things Rangers. He's the best we've had in a long, long time, probably maybe even the best. I know we've had the Graham Souness and we've had Walter, so it's great to listen to him. He's very articulate, he knows his football, he knows what he wants to do, he knows what his goals are, and he's very demanding in what he wants to achieve, so that's good for us, and that can only bode well for us in the coming season. So I mean, we've not written off this season, George, but as I said last night, I'm really looking forward to next season.
Well, if you look at it, Jimmy, and what you are saying, if you look at the players that we've brought in, we had to bring in 15, and as you says, we get rid of 23. In any other league, if you brought that in, you'd be doing well to finish in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We've not just finished second. We've finished second. We went 9 points in front of Aberdeen. Now they've finished second the last 3-4 years. So I know they put us out of 2 cups, and we never had great head-to-heads against them. But in the same sense, it's all about what you do in the league as well.
Aye.
And we're miles in front of them. So it goes to show we are a wee bit more, as you say, maybe if the phone thing with Davis had come in and they had been match fit, I'm being honest now, guys, I think it would have made a massive difference, especially for December, George, when we were level on points,
It maybe took our team a bit longer to settle, than
of course.
We're
Absolutely.
16 guys, we're letting, like you say, 21 guys go, and then we're bringing in a few more guys at Christmas, and it's maybe England. We're trying to get Steven Gerrard to put his stamp on the club. He's a new manager. It's easy to turn around and say, well, we should be winning things, but you've got to look at it and the duty of the thing is at the end of the day and say to yourself, see, when you think about it, we'll bring all the players in, new manager, they've got to settle, and we're starting to see us starting to play a good bit of football now. The team seems to be playing football, they seem to be happy with the system they're playing, we're scoring goals, so if this is what maybe took a wee bit of start of our season to get us going longer than we actually expected, and then maybe next season we can actually get a good kick-off, if you know what I mean, hit the ground.
Exactly. If we finish that, if we can go the rest of these 3 games and win them, that's going to be a big boost to all their confidences for going into. And the guys, remember the guys that are joining us and have no long been at the club, they're going to have a full pre-season under their belt. We've already seen that Stevie G, their fitness-wise, they've come on leaps and bounds, because we've seen where players still running as hard at the end of games, and that's a big plus for me, because in years gone past, guys, I've seen us falling away in games towards the end of games. That's not happening now. We're pushing at the end of games, sometimes even harder than we were at the start of games. That's a great advantage for me. See if you're as fit at the end of a game, that tells on your opposing teams that you're up against. It definitely does, and that will only push us on even more next season. So I'm really looking forward to it. But again, I would love us to win all our remaining games. I think that would be a massive boost to the whole club.
It's
Can
easy
I just come in there, George?
Let you go, Fox.
Unfortunately, we can either have the full press conference in the Wanner meet, the bits we've cut in here only picking up by the computer. We've also been joined by Blue Shadow there. So once you talk to Blue Shadow, you can give me the nod and I can play the full press conference. Right. Also, the other problem tonight is with the phones. Apparently it's coming up that when you call in, you've not got enough for a signal. But as long as you call in, I will then hang up and I will phone you back and I'll bring you into the call. Sorry about that, folks.
No bother, folks. Well, I've actually put it down here in 6 wee different segments, folks, where it is. So once we're going through, if you just play the full interview, once we're going through it, we can actually just take it from there, because I think it is quite a good interview and it's quite good to go through it, if you know what I mean. How are you doing, Blue Shadow? How are you doing tonight? All right?
No bad, George. Yourself, mate?
Aye, good to hear you on again. Not heard you on for a while. How are you doing?
No, do it. I was just listening to what you're saying there, boys, about the games until the end of the season and whatnot. Ordinarily, I'd be looking for us to sort out the squad and see who we're going to try and keep in the summer. What the younger team we're going to bring in. But most of the guys you might be perhaps looking to bring in are probably out on loan anyway at the minute, so you couldn't do that. And I'm sure that Stevie Gerrard's well aware of who he wants to keep now, because there's certain guys that have just perhaps stepped up to the mark as well as we would have liked to, from things we've heard through interviews and various different things. As regards to why we're not doing quite so well in the second half of the season, almost we've dropped silly games, etc., is I don't think, as I say, it goes back to some guys haven't stepped up to the plate and been Rangers players for me, and also the squad's just that wee bit thin. And if we can strengthen with those 3 to 4 quality players like you were talking about in the summer, I think we've got more than enough to put that lot of other across the city under to the sword, because they're no a great team. I've been saying it for a while. They are not the team they think they are. They're not the team they're made out to be. They're there for the taking, and I don't think they'll put that much into their squad this summer.
You just on that, Blue Shadow, I reckon it's probably 4 as well. And realistically, if we're all honest about it, if we sat down and said how many players, you could pick anybody, how many players, you'd probably say, let's be honest, you'd probably say, well, give me 10 first team players and give these guys something to think about. But you've mentioned 3 or 4. I reckon it's 3 or 4 as well. If we can get 3 or 4 quality players in to play along our guys, because our team's not that bad, Blue Shadow, if we think about it. We've got the basis of a half-decent team there, a good goalkeeper, good centre-half, good striker, good right-back, things like that. So we've got guys here that can actually build a team round about. But what do you reckon? If you reckon 3 or 4 first-team players come into that squad, do you think we were ready to go for next season?
Indeed, I think that will be on top of our pre-contract as well. I think they don't have to be counting the pre-contracts into that. I reckon it'll be 3 or 4 first-team players with a bit of experience under the belt that will bring in. Whether that will be loans, because there's been talks of all various different people coming up from England. Some of them fantasy. The guy from Arsenal, that's a total fantasy thing. That guy's on £3 or £4 million a year. I think it's Welbeck his name is or something. Where guys like him are not going to come up north. There's plenty of clubs down here would jump at to get a hold of him. So I think it might, but we might get up with guys like that. Andre Gray, who's been a bit on the sidelines down at Watford. If we could score him, there has been whispers that he might be going out on loan, and he's blisteringly fast, that boy. Whether that would work in Scotland's another matter.
That is that next level we need, Jimmy, isn't it? Ken, it is the next level of player. Ken, maybe Scott Arfield's been a wee bit thing in these last few games. I think he's been excellent for us, and Defoe and guys like that. I wasn't sure about if Defoe would actually date when he came up here, Jimmy, but I think it's that next level of player, probably the same level of what Scott Arfield is, and Jermaine Defoe's been in his time, Steve Davis. If we can get guys like that to come in, and we've got the captain James Tavernier and things like that, I think if we can get 3 or 4 of these guys to come right in, I'd be happy to take on any team, Jimmy. I really would.
I mean, it's got to be players. I mean, we spoke about this earlier on in the week. By the way, how you doing, Blue Shadow? I've not heard you for a while, pal. We've got to have players for the Premiership, not the Championship. Like, for me, it's got to be decent players for the Premiership. Can we get them in loan? If we can, then we need to take them. Can we afford to buy any players? Well, we don't know that yet. So I'm with Blue Shadow. I'm going for 5. I would say we need 5 players of quality to enhance the squad. I know we've got the pre-contracts now, but for me, I still think the boy Hasty is going to be a bit part player, and I feel the same about Jordan Jones as well. Whether Greg Docherty will return to Shrewsbury, I think time will tell with that, so we'll just need to wait and see. And then again, it'll all depend what happens with Alfredo. Will he go for the money that's been talked about? Will that money be automatically used to enhance the squad? But if we get rid of Alfredo, then we've got to try and replace him with somebody of the same ilk.
A lot of if buts and maybes, Jim. That's the thing. Okay, we've still got a few weeks to the season to go. It is a lot of if buts and maybes. We're starting to go and talk a bit about Steven Gerrard now, Jimmy. So what about if we just go into the interview, if we just keep Fox and we get the interview and listen to that, and then we can maybe take a wee bit for that as everybody goes on mute.
Yep.
You ready for that, Fox?
Stephen, congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
What's your thoughts on it? Do you?
I think they should rename the Manager of the Month award to Coach and Team of the Month, to be honest, because obviously I get great support on a daily basis and round the clock really from my staff. So if we can change the name to that individual award, it'd be very nice. In terms of the players one, I think Scotty certainly deserves his no end. I think he has been by far the best player in the league over the last 4 to 5 weeks, scoring goals, making goals, but not just that, the work that he does off the ball for the team, someone who empties the tank on a daily basis in training, and he's been an absolute pleasure to coach. So I'm pleased for Scotty for his award. In terms of mine, with all due respect, we move on, and my focus is certainly on Hibs and trying to get another win.
It's the first awards for you guys this season though, so does it show that you're getting the recognition for maybe the consistency and the form that you're finding?
I think it recognises how well the team are playing and all the hard work that's gone in to reach this level. But we want to continue to keep improving and moving forward and getting stronger. And I never ever be disrespectful to individual accolades, of course. They're always nice along the way, but I'm sure Scotty will back me up on this. It's certainly team awards that we're all striving for. You know, we've worked ever so hard to give it a good shot this year, but unfortunately it just hasn't been the case, and we're looking forward with confidence and belief that we can make more of a competitive effort next year.
A couple of bits of good news this week with the announcement of Jake signing for next year and Stephen as well. Just your thoughts on both?
Yeah, Jake's one who'll join the first team squad next season. I think he's a very exciting prospect. Recently being rewarded with an under-21 call-up. And obviously I'm very aware that we want success now and as quick as we can, but it's also very important that we keep trying to strengthen this team and this club for many, many years, and Jake will certainly help us do that. He's someone who's got answers in the final third of the pitch, whether that be in a 1v1, whether it be to assist a goal or score a goal. I think his return 7 in 16-17 appearances, which is a hell of a return for a player so young who has recently been on loan elsewhere. So I think the Motherwell staff have done a really good job with him. And yeah, he's one we're really excited to work with, and hopefully we can continue to develop him and he can become a regular starter here at some point. Stephen Davis was one we always had an idea that we were going to try and make it longer than 6 months. I think with playing regular game time, you can see he's back in top form. Alongside Scott, he's been consistent, certainly over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So we're pleased for Stephen. We're pleased that he's got some more security in where he's going to be, and with a full pre-season under his belt, I'm sure he'll be ready to help us challenge for major honours next year.
And in terms of your own nominations today, your prizes you got today, you've seen 2 of your players as well this week get nominated for the Player of the Year award. Is that another pleasing aspect for the club?
Yeah, I'm always very pleased to see the players get recognised individually. I think it shows that we've got good players, players that are up there with the other top players in the league. So yeah, I'm very pleased for Ryan and Alfredo, of course, but we'll wait to see whether they win them awards. Obviously they're up against good competition. I think the Celtic lads have had equally excellent seasons as well, so we'll see how they do. We wish them luck and we'll see how that pans out.
Stephen, in terms of Jake, he's obviously been a regular starter for Motherwell in recent months. Is it a case with him that you say he might have to take maybe a step back from being a regular first team player to develop a bit more to then break into your team?
Yeah, but we don't see it as a step back. I think Jake, like all the other 23 to 25 first team squad members, has got the opportunity in pre-season over a 4 to 6 week period to impress and really fight for a shirt. Even the lads that are in the 11 now will tell you that people are breathing down the neck to take that shirt off them, and that's the way it's got to be. We want competition for places. Jake's coming in to help us have more answers in the final third where we've fell short at certain times this year. He's a young boy, of course. We'll have to show a little bit more patience with the younger lads. I don't treat Jake like I'd treat Scotty, who's got Premiership experience and international experience. I can be a bit more forceful with your Arfields and your Davises than I can with your Hasties and McCrories. You manage them different, but it's important we've got the right balance and blend in the squad of young lads, middle-aged guys in terms of football career that are about to peak, and also experienced people who've been around the block who know what to do, when to do it, and can also help me manage the dressing room, and that's where Scott comes in.
Stephen, you spoke last week about Ryan Kent, and you said it likely be a decision for Ryan and Liverpool whether or not he was here next year. We spoke to him this week and he said it was a possibility he might stay. Is that sort of reassuring for you? Is that a good sign?
It's not as reassuring as it would be if I seen his signature on a dotted line, but it is a possibility. That's where it's at. It's probably too early for Ryan to make his decision, but the important thing is Ryan knows he's wanted here. I think, to be fair to the club, they're doing everything they can to make it happen and giving me the support I need on it. Ryan knows we want him, Liverpool know we want Ryan, but we also have to be respectful that the kid's got a big decision to make, and I'm sure there's people queuing up for his services because he's such a top player.
He spoke about the fact that he's had a few loan spells and he's now looking to sort of put down some permanent roots. I mean, I suppose that sort of underlines the importance of the decision. Does he stay here? Does he go somewhere else and have to start again?
Yeah, I think what he means by that is he wants football happiness, and I think when you're coming down to making these decisions, not just in Ryan's case, in any footballer's case, sometimes you have to forget what's coming into your ears from all kinds of different directions, and you have to think, where am I going to be happy playing my football? Who do I want to share a dressing room with? Who's going to help me enjoy my football and show me best form? And Ryan's being accepted in this dressing room. The players love him. Now, my advice to Ryan is, go where you think you're going to be happy. Go where you think you can go and improve your numbers in terms of assists and goals and take your career to the next level. We hope that's going to be Rangers, but if I was Ryan, he has to make the decision for himself and not really listen to all kinds of noise from all kinds of different directions. Go and find football happiness, because that's where you'll play your best for. So, I don't think anyone would be surprised if and when a player of that calibre of game was available. If I felt he was going to help strengthen the team and it made financial sense for the club, I'm sure I'll get the backing, but we'll have to wait and see.
The man sitting next to you has been linked this morning as well with a move back to the Premier League.
That doesn't surprise me.
So you're trying to build something here though as well. So there's that. I guess there's that fine balancing line that you. With the players that you want to get in here and the senior guys in the dressing room as well. Presumably, Scott, you don't want to lose at all.
I don't want to lose Scott, that's for sure. He's a player we're trying to build it round, and we worked ever so hard to get him in the door in the first place. But the reality is, it works pretty simple. I tell you guys I don't want him to go, and tell him that I love him live on air and want him to stay. But the way football works at any single football club is every single player has a price, and them decisions sometimes get took out of my hand and Scott's hand. So we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But he knows very well that we want him to stay here at Rangers and we don't want him to go anywhere, because we want to keep our best players because they give us a better chance of being successful.
Scott, presumably this is a place you feel comfortable with, and you've tasted the Premier League, but you know what you've got here as well.
Of course, I think over the last kind of 2 years I've not played enough football. Kind of a year and a half at Burnley where I was in and out of the team. This is the happiest I've been in years, is to be at this football club, to wear this badge, to walk around here, to be back in Glasgow, and my family's settled. I'm fully focused in doing the right things for Rangers to win games, and that's my full focus at the minute.
So we can roll that out then, we can roll it, you're moving in the summer?
You's no more about it than me. You's no more about it. For me,
Roy Hodgson's got my number as well, so I'm sure I'm sure if he wanted Scott and he's got enough money, we can have a conversation, but the message would be he's not going anywhere.
In terms, just going back to the awards that the pair of you won, Scott, why do you feel it's taken this point in the season to get that consistency and those results?
Well, I think it's good players playing at right times now. I think consistency over the seasons, why we felt short. To put a finger on it, then it's hard to do so, but I think now we've got footballers in the team that can handle the ball, that kind of play to the strength. Everybody knows how to play this system that we're playing. We're hurting teams in different ways, and everybody's in the right direction. So it's took this long, but I think it's a sad thing for us that it's coming to an end so quickly with 3 games to go. But we wanted to finish as strong as possible and hit the ground running next season.
You've also had a wee bit of a sort of slight positional change of playing a bit further forward, closer to Jermaine. Is that brought the best out of you, do you think?
Well, I think it was very important when you've got a player like Jermaine that you get close to him and help him as much as possible. He's a clinical finisher. He goes in behind. He makes it ever so easy for the wingers and for the number 8s to get up and help him, because you know he's going to keep the ball. So when he was playing up, we knew that we had to get close to him and make it as tough as possible for oppositions and give him a different way to playing against them. And it just so happens that when he gets chances, he's ever so clinical, and that's what you get when you invest the money in a player like that to bring him up here.
Have you got a point to prove against Hibs this weekend, given results against them this season?
You get points to prove every time you wear the badge. Everybody's cup finals against us, we know that. And we're there to win games. We're in a rich vein of form. Everybody's happy in the system that we're playing. We're going after teams and we're scoring goals, so we're confident we can do the same.
What do you make of Hibs under Paul Heckingbottom? They seem to have sort of come on up.
Yeah, done great. Seen a lot of them. Done absolutely fantastic since he's come in. Good footballers again. They like to get the ball down and play, so it's for a good game on Sunday.
Stephen, you got a big decision to make in terms of who starts up front if you're just going with the one striker, given the way Jermaine's played and Alfredo being back from suspension.
Yeah, but that's always the case in every area of the team. Scott will tell you, we've got a big squad here and it's quite healthy at the moment, so people are pushing for people's positions in the team all over the pitch. That's my job, that's what I get paid to do, is to make big decisions, but I'm certainly one who will be loyal to players. In any area of the team, you play well and you deserve to keep the shirt, unless we've got a really, really busy schedule where we need to manage and offload. You keep the shirt. That's the message I've been drilling since day one, and I don't think I'll ever change. I always try and take myself back to when I played, and when you judge yourself and you self-reflect, and the first question you always ask coming off the pitch is, did I do enough to start in the next game? So I'll always be loyal to players in that situation.
You spoke a few weeks ago about Alfredo and saying that his disciplinary problems, what would happen the most is missing games. Have you seen that through the last 4 games? Has he been sort of cut a frustrated figure in the training ground? Like that?
I've seen it all season. I think Alfredo's one that doesn't really hide it well when he is suspended or he has to miss a game, because he loves playing football. He's a top player, and he's one you'd have to drag off the training pitch. He loves being out there and stuff, so I'm sure he's learned a lot in the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks, however long it's been, and hopefully we'll see that from now till the end of the season, if and when he's given an opportunity. But discipline is a word that's come up an awful lot in our press conferences, and we have been hurt and damaged at certain times, either whether it be through injury or suspension and not having key players available at key times. So the message to the whole team, not just Alfredo, is we want them to be aggressive and play and be strong and be physical, but in the right way, and it's important we keep 11 men on the pitch moving forward, because it helps us and gives us a better chance of being successful.
You can ask the post the reserve league. What are your thoughts on the reserve league? Why do you think it's working on for your players?
I seen the piece yesterday, and apparently a senior figure at this football club is about to address that situation, so I'm looking forward to seeing who that senior figure is, and I'll look forward to that interview and him addressing that situation, but it seems as if that's in someone else's hands.
You've seen also the Basel Cup and the Youth Cup as well. You've seen how they can progress.
Yeah, of course. I think they were 2 fantastic games. I went to see one live, and I also watched the second one, and I think both clubs and both teams, to be fair, have got a lot of talent that they're trying to produce and put along the conveyor belt. 2 excellent matches, both 3-2 games, late winners. very dramatic games, but I think both sets of players deserve a hell of a lot of credit for the standard, because they were 2 top games.
Team news for the weekend, any injuries?
Ryan Jack, where we are right now, obviously we've still got 48 hours to go, but he's got a throat problem. I'm not a doctor, but I think it's some kind of throat infection of some sort, so I think he'll be out there today, but he won't do the full session, so we'll have to make a decision on him in the next couple of days. Everyone else is fit and well, I think, and pushing. Gareth McCauley's got a hamstring problem, he won't play again for us this season. Can't think of anyone else. I think we're fine from there.
There you go, that was the manager, is there, Steven Gerrard. What do you make of that? Is everybody back in here, Jimmy?
George, is that not so refreshing? That guy's speaking to the press, everything the way he conducts himself, his talking's just absolutely immense, is it no? It gives you a glow just listening to the guy.
It does, aye. That's, you always say that, but it's same again, Jimmy, when you just listen to the way the guy talks, the way he conducts himself. That's what Wilkes was saying the other night there, Ken. If he's just one of these guys that you just he's perfect with everything the way he does it. He speaks perfectly, comes across perfectly, he's respectful to everybody, and I love the guy to bits, Jimmy, I really do. I think, I keep on saying it, I think he's lucky to have a job the size of Rangers for his first job, Jimmy.
Aye.
I think we're lucky to have him as well in the same hand, Jimmy, I really do.
Yeah, definitely, George. I mean, like Blue Star said, he's so articulate.
Oh, unbelievable.
He knows everything that he wants to say. He doesn't stutter, right? He's very well informed. He's got everything in front of him. He answers questions brilliantly.
Jimmy, it's as if he's interpreting exactly what they're going to come out with against him next, isn't it? He knows exactly what they're going to ask him.
Yep. It's brilliant to listen to. He informs you well. He tells you what you want to hear. Not just what you want to hear, but you need to hear.
He's giving you extras that other managers don't do.
So it's refreshing to listen to him. His pressers are absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've not watched this one today. Obviously, as I said, I was busy today, but Macy's pressers, George, I've watched 2 or 3 times. Because it's a joy to watch and listen to, and he's a man who doesn't suffer fools gladly, and
a lot of people are slagging the press conferences after Jimmy and saying Kenny's the other night he was talking about Jurgen Klopp and he was talking about Man City and Liverpool and things like that. And we didn't want to hear that, Jimmy. Of course, we didn't want to hear him talk about Rangers, but see, at the end of the day, no matter what he talks about, I love listening to the guy. I've actually seen myself come back and.
I don't understand. Sorry, George. I don't understand why people say that. That's in his luggage. That's the luggage he's had. He played for one of the great. Well, that's my second team basically. We've been Liverpool. He played one of the greatest teams in the world out with Rangers. I'd love him to have played for us, but why should he not mention Liverpool? But he's still a Liverpool supporter and he wants him to win the league. And
loyalty's a great thing, Jimmy, isn't it? Loyalty's a great thing.
Of course it is. So there's nothing. I don't have a problem with Steven Gerrard being the Rangers manager and turning around and saying, I'm a Rangers manager and I want Rangers to win, but my allegiance with Liverpool that's a team that made me who I am today. So if anybody's wanting to slag him or that, get over it. He's a Rangers manager. There's other managers that have done things in the past with other teams. So for me, I don't see that as a big. If others want to make an issue, that's up to them. But for me, it's very, very petty.
We'll see if is Blue Shadow still there, is he?
I am still here, George.
What do you make of that, Blue Shadow? You're the same as us. You just like listening to the guy talking.
No, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go quite that far. I mean, let's remember, Steven Gerrard used to be manager of England. He's used to handling international press at World Cups when things are going pear-shaped with we're going pear-shaped with the England team in the 80s and 90s. So, he's loads of experience, well trained in that. But I think a couple of times this season, for me, it's like, well, your tactics were wrong, and he was blaming it all on the players and everything. It's like, well, you're the manager, you tell them what to do. For me, so a couple of times, I'm not quite as impressed with him as you are, but I still think he's fantastic with the press. He knows how to handle them, and he's got stacks of experience in dealing with them.
I think we're joined with Stardug as well. Are you there, Stardug?
I'm here, George. How you doing, mate?
How are you doing? All right. What do you make of that? What's your thoughts on the first part of the interview there? Anyway, just in general, Steven Gerrard. Basically, I think we're just covering the new Stardug.
I'm just going to agree with JFK. I think it's so refreshing to hear. See, that's one of the longest interviews he's done this season, and most of it was about Rangers and our club's future. But I'm also like JFK in the sense, I love to hear him talk about it. That's Liverpool's his passion. That's a bit of realism there. At least he's being real when he's talking about it. He's not saying, "Oh, Ken, I'm just being professional for Rangers and pretending that he doesn't like Liverpool." Well, okay, from Liverpool, he should be able to talk about them. It's good to see a bit of realism up there and all. If you ken what I mean, like they're having a conversation with the guy. They're not just questioning him. They're having a conversation with the guy.
I like the way as well, JFK. I'll say you this one when he said about manager of the month, he would like to get a chance to the coaching backroom staff and team of the month and things like that, which is absolutely right, because I think he gets a lot of help. I think it was Fox that said a few weeks ago there about bringing an older head in, maybe just to give him that wee bit extra help, because he is a young guy. But what he says here is right. I mean, I can't believe that's his first manager of the month this year. In Scottish football, and then even let's not even go and talk about the nominees for the manager of the year, Jimmy. But just going saying there, manager of the month, you've got to agree with what you're saying there, Jimmy. Really,
Of course you have, because just like Stardog said there, again, that's refreshing. You know, he sees something just more than him. No, it's not just about Steven Gerrard. It's about who he's got round about him. You know, he's the face. He's the man that does the prayers. I know Gary McAllister's done a few as well, but he's the man at the helm. But also he's telling us all, look, it's not just me. There's other guys round about me who helped to make the team the way it is now. You know, and yes, we're finishing second in the league, but there's others who need applaudit. You know, and there's other players as well who need plaudits. So to me, again, the word we keep using is refreshing. I think it's brilliant. I love listening to the man, and I think it fills me at the moment with a bit of joy, which is good, because we've not had much joy, guys, in the last 7 years. So let's grasp it. We're not going overboard. I know I can see where Blue Shadow's coming from, but I'm not going overboard. I just think it's made me feel positive now, and we'll take next season when it comes. So let's win the next 3 games, finish on a high, and see where it takes us. So I think that it's a great thing he said. It's not just about me. Name it coach, team of the month, blah blah blah.
He's made mistakes, guys. Let's not kid ourselves on here. He's made mistakes, but he started off, as Jimmy says and George says, he came in, he had to get rid of a lot of players. He started off bringing with 15 new guys in. Now, whether we like it or no, he get hot with European games when it was far, far too early, for being honest. We hadn't even recruited our players. We hadn't even performed as a team or nothing, and we were up with Europe. He got us into Europe, and some of the games, guys, even the games that we get beat, we played cracking football, and we were up against teams that, let's be honest, when we seen them going further, that some of the teams got great results. So you're looking at it and you're saying, well, wait a wee minute, we more than performed against these. We held our own. We then came into the league. Granted, we were topsy-turvy. We'd go in wee runs, and then we weren't getting beaten a lot of games. It was mostly draws against teams that shouldn't even have been on the same park as us. He's learning he's learning on his feet. So you've got to give him a wee bit of credit in the sense, Alfredo was out for 4 games. We've won 4 games. Now, if you'd have said that, 6 weeks ago, you would have laughed. You wouldn't have thought for a minute we could have won 4 games in the trot without Alfredo. Well, he's done it, and we're doing it in a wee bit of style. We've been performing on the park. We're playing decent football. We're scoring goals, and now we've got a guy that's the top goal scorer in the league with hundreds of potential, and he'll probably be a sub. Now, if we look at our benches throughout the season, there was quite a few times when we said to ourselves, well, we've not really got him much. Look at the 2 semi-finals. For me, the guys, I'm turning round now even more so for the guy, because I genuinely look at the overall season and I think he's progressing the right way. Granted, next season is a big, massive one. We all know that as a club. We all know that as fans. But you can't kick the guy. You've got to look at it in all aspects. And to be perfectly honest, for me, listening to the guy talking, and I know that's not the team on the park, But the way the guy speaks, I don't think there's anybody comes close to him. I don't think we've ever had a manager that speaks as well as he does. I really don't.
What Blue Shadow says, Blue, what you actually say, Blue Shadow, is you keep everybody's feet in the ground, because we could get blown away with this. It's nothing's perfect. If it was perfect, it'd be a perfect season. We were running away with everything. But I think what a lot of the fans are actually seeing is that who we had in charge last season and last few years, and the way they conducted themselves and the way they spoke. And I keep on going back to Mud. I Kenny's still at the club, but a lot of folks say they helped us out at a time. Well, I don't think he did help us out at a time. I think he was lucky to get put in that position, slavering down the front of his jumper and things like that. And that's not the way to conduct yourself. A lot of people think that he should be jumping about the touchline and things like that. I don't think he should be doing that either. I think he conducts himself really well. And I think we're lucky to have a guy who conducts himself like this. And like you're saying, if you could just get the squads and things like that just that bit better, we'd be close to being perfect, Blue Shadow.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I mean, as I say, we are nearly there. We've just need that little bit extra quality to push it up over the line for me. The only person which I'm not sure on which he's brought in is that Bale character. I've said it before. Since I think he came in round about just after New Year or something, and he's supposed to be this tactical guru. Now it all depends. Maybe he's given Steven Gerrard the advice, and Steven Gerrard's not listening. We're not privy to that, so we can't make decisions. But there have certainly been tactical mistakes which have been made in the second half of the season. We all know everybody makes mistakes, but it's something which we've got to work on. And with everyone saying, "Oh, we've gone 4 or 5 games," but last week against the Sheep, we had 66% possession. We did not get a goal. We did not get a goal from open play. And as everybody knows, we can't. Despite the fact that I think they were both penalties, we can't rely on referees in Scotland giving us those penalties. So there's work to be done there for me. I know it's really harsh, but that's still, I'm always going out looking for perfection, and there's very few times I've found it over the course of the years. But there's
room for improvement, and that's the thing. There's room for improvement. We're talking about 3 and 4, and Jimmy said 5 first-team players. So there's room for improvement right across the full board, right across the playing squad, the manager, and things like that to get tactics bang on. It's maybe took them a wee bit longer than expected. So we'll discuss this after. We're going to get a wee tune for Fox. I think I don't know if Fox has got to sing or somebody who's got to sing live, but we're going to get a tune for Fox anyway. If everybody goes on mute, and then we'll keep this conversation going after the wee tune. Everybody, cheers.
How many years ago, my boys, I left old Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here I'm settled down. Although I'm of Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, what I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing back of California where the sun shines all the year, singing Bama about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Buck of California where the sun shines all the year, singing Bama about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb my Bachelor Road where life's so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.
I love that tune. Everybody back in. I can just hear old Bridgeman and who's singing away in the background, lying in his hole with his Bermuda shorts on. Jimmy, what do you think?
Great tune, mate. Brilliant tune. Good choice here, Fox. Can I just go into a bit? Blue Shadow was talking about. I'm in the same camp as Blue Shadow. I spoke about this about 3 or 4 months ago regarding. I thought the backroom staff was maybe a bit weak, and a few guys kind of shouted me down a bit. No shouted me down, but you know, I feel that we need to be a bit stronger in the backroom staff. Not so much as Gary McCalls, but the Michael Beale guy, I think his experience. I know he comes as a package with Stevie G, but I think we need a bit more experience in the backroom staff. And it's something that I have thought about and spoke about on here a couple of times, George. So Blue Shadow had mentioned it there, so I thought I would back him up on that. But I think I'm not going to use the word weak. I just think that sometimes, like I say, I'm not wanting my manager to be jumping about like a loony, but I'm looking for a bit more passion. I know he's a bit passionate, but for me, I maybe being wrong in saying this. I don't know what Michael Beale brings to the club in that aspect. So I'm not wanting to do him a disservice, but I feel that somebody else should be brought in. I don't know if that's going to happen.
That will happen during the second season as well, Jimmy. I'm sure that's.
Would you say is it fair that we just don't seem to be able to change things on the fly very quick?
Yeah.
There was long periods, Jimmy. I would agree with you and Blue Shadow on that one. There was long periods, especially midway through the season, where we would need to be honest. He seemed very, very reluctant to change things when we were all crying out for maybe something a wee bit different or bringing a certain player on. And there was long periods of time where he just didn't seem to be doing that. But it's like everything else. He is a new manager, and he's trying to find his feet. But the thing that gets me is if you actually listen to him there in that piece that was just played, he went into aspects that he wasn't even asked about. That's not him telling the press. That's him telling the Rangers fans, as far as I'm concerned. He's letting us know exactly how he's seeing things and what he's aiming for. And I'm over the moon with that. I just think he knows exactly what he needs. It's down to the board to back him. No doubt about it, guys. He knows exactly what he wants and what we need.
Yep. I had Blue Shadow. You were going to speak of Blue Shadow, weren't you?
I was just basically thinking. I was actually thinking about something totally different with the what players that he could actually bring in, and I think perhaps what we need is someone particularly on the right hand side, because Candeias for me is an out and out winger. He's no player that when they do play the 4-3-3, whereby Candeias can come in, is going to drive in off the right hand side and allow and create room for the wing back. At the moment, Tavernier to overlap him. So we need somebody along that line, and Candeias will do a job for us in certain games, particularly in Europe. But I think we do need somebody on that side. I don't know what you boys think.
Do you still think, guys, we need somebody in the coming at, whether it's the right or the left or the middle of the park? For me, I still think we need a real class player that, whether it's threading a ball through or something to make defenders turn, I still think we just lack that wee bit of, call it a number 10 if you like, that real bit of pure class and creativity. I still think we're crying out for something like that. I really do.
Would you say that? Sorry.
No, sorry boys, my internet went absolutely tonto there and I didn't know what was happening or nothing. Can I just bring Stardog in, because he's sitting there in the background and I can see him desperate to get in. Have his wee say as well, Blue Shadow, and then we'll all get a wee talk as well.
I carry on.
Are you there, Stardog?
I'm here, George, aye.
Aye, what's your, I see you sitting in the background there. I was trying to bring in what happened.
I think going into next season, like the Blue Star was saying there, we're going to need somebody for the right and the left. I think we need a full new front three. Without the striker, obviously, a number 10 at a left and a right. Say we don't get Kent back, that leaves it as short on the left and all for me. So I think we need a full new front three.
Aye.
We might need to, because we still don't know what's happening with Alfredo as well, you know.
That's what I'm saying, mate. And if Kent doesn't come back to us either, I think that leaves us short of all three positions up there, because I don't think Greg Stewart, Jordan Jones, or that boy Jake Hasty, I don't think they're enough, mate. I think we need quality there, real quality.
I would agree, and I think we all know that. If you're talking about Jones and Hasty, I know Bridgeman and that seems to think Jones will do the days a real good turn, but for me, he's not the player that Stevie G's talking about that's walking into our team. Guys, for me, 2 or 3 players have still to be brought in, and that's what I would class he's talking about when he talks about real quality. He's talking about guys he's putting into that first team 11, no doubt about it.
I mean, for me,
what do you think, Blue Shadow, about Ryan Kent? Should we put everything we can possibly get to get Ryan Kent signed up? I mean, when Stephen Gerrard was talking in his interview, it was basically down to Ryan Kent. Should we put everything we've got in to try and get this laddie signed? Is he really the answer for the left-hand side? And should we use the resources we've got to try and get him signed up, Blue Shadow?
For me, no. He's a great winger. He's not a great winger. He's a good winger. He's great for up in Scotland. But he doesn't. For me, if we want to play that 4-3-3 system, he doesn't score enough goals. He doesn't come in and attack the box, which players, like if you remember, Alfredo, at the start of the season, Alfredo Morelos when it was at this, I can't even remember, no, it was last season, but Alfredo Morelos started off on the left-hand side, and he used to come driving in from that left-hand side and create absolute havoc. And also answering a question which Blue Star was asking earlier about the player who can create a pass. It's not necessarily create a pass. If you've got players that can drive at defences, that creates panic. That draws defenders towards you, and that creates spaces elsewhere in the box. And we need that. And we need that particularly up here with so many defenders, with so many teams sit with so many men behind the ball. You have to create space, and I think players like that will create the space for you.
Do you think Stephen Davis is becoming that person that can open up a pass? I think he's a lot more intelligent than a bit. I'm not being offensive to guys we've got playing our team. I think Kent's a great player, and I think Jack's a good player, and I think Kamara's came on to a really good game. But I think Stephen Davis, Jimmy, I'll come to you. I think Stephen Davis is probably that wee bit more intelligent than what we've actually got there. Is he the answer for opening up defences? Maybe bringing Arfield into the game, and if it is Alfredo or Defoe, is that maybe the answer? Somebody like the same as Stephen Davis?
Aye, probably. I mean, you heard Fox saying last night, he thinks, Stephen Davis is playing a different role when he was playing with us before. But, I mean,
he's been lying very deep, Jimmy.
He's been lying very deep, you know, so...
More like a two guy.
Aye, that's a good shout, aye. But, you know, the Ryan Kent situation for me is a misnomer, as I said last night. I mean, I wouldn't pay any more than £3 million for Ryan Kent, and even that is a lot of money for Rangers. So, and sometimes he does flatter to, I just think, is he worth that type of money? No, he's no. But the gaffer made a great point today, and he says, he's advised him to go where he's going to be happy. And look, let's not kid ourselves on. Happiness is money for a lot of these young players, and that. Happiness is money for a lot of us. Never mind anybody else, but I don't think he'll be part of the team next season. So I think we'll look elsewhere for that. Where that's going to be, I don't know. Fred goes. Sorry, George, you go.
You were saying there, Jimmy, about the hot and cold, and maybe going off the boil a wee bit a couple of times. Is that just a winger thing, but Jimmy? I ken you're a bit older than me, and you're probably going to great wingers and things like that who just seem to do it all the time. But I think it's a thing now with wingers. If they hit the ground running during the game, that's it. They're unplayable. But some other times it's just that they can't get the ball, they can't get past a man and things like that. And I think that's what happens with Ryan Kent sometimes. And considering as young, what Blue Shadow said, there's actually a great point. He's probably a good player for doing it in the Championship, but for in Scotland he probably is a great player. So if we got him for £3 million, I think that would be a bit of a steal, Jimmy, to be honest.
But that's about all he'd be worth with $3 million. They're banding about 5 to 10 million. But what you're saying there, I'm privileged to say that I saw some fantastic wingers for Rangers. I'm privileged to say I've seen Wally Henderson playing. And one of my favourite wingers all the time, who never get the plaudits, was Clinton Young. I thought he was fantastic. But it's a system and it's the way football's played now. All the zonal marking and that, and the way that they need to play in that space. But I mean, I'm the old school, probably the same as Blue Shadow. It was 1, 2, 3, 5, that was it. Goalkeeper, 2, a left back, a right back, 3 in the middle, and then 5 across the front. So I was spoiled that way because we're wingers then, we're wingers, and it was great to watch. And that's never going to happen again in any of our lifetime. So I just see Ryan Kent drifting in and out of the game. But I think it's a system that is played in football all around the world, that everything's new zonal marking and you need to keep in that space. That's yours. Don't move out of that. Go where you're told to go, or blah, blah, blah. You mark him or you don't mark him. Make sure that you're playing off the ball as well as on the ball.
You're right, Jimmy. If you take the likes of Middleton, when Stevie G brought him in, the first couple of games, he was kicking the ball by players and he was causing havoc.
Yeah.
The whole run of the 5 games, Stevie G then dropped him. Now, if you look at Middleton's game, basically, see if he's up against a tight defence, he's right in what Fox is saying the other night. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. See if he can't kick the ball by the guy on the outside.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what else to do, Jimmy. He really doesn't. So Kent's certainly got the skill to cut inside, but Blue Shadow's bang on when he says the one thing that's the fault in his game, very, very few times, never mind scoring goals, very, very few times did we even see him shooting, and that's when he was on his game. For beating a guy with skill, aye, but he's then got to pass the ball to somebody who's in the position to go and put the ball in the net. You know what I mean?
Tommy McLean. There you go, George. Sorry, George. There you go. Tommy McLean for me was a perfect example of a winger. The way Tommy could dribble, right, and it was the way that he managed to cut inside and then back out, cut inside again, back out right onto the byline and get a cracking ball across.
And when he crossed that ball, it went straight to somebody's head or whatever.
Well, Derek Johnson always said, if I wouldn't have scored the goals I'd scored if it wasn't for Tommy McLean. 100%. The way he could put that ball there. So we don't have anybody like that in the team. I know we praise Daniel Candace for a lot of what he does, but sometimes he flatters to deceive as well. And Ryan Kent's like that. Is Ryan Kent a luxury for his guys? He might be. It might be a money no well spent. I know we're all praising him. He's played great in some games, but he's not played great at every game.
Jimmy, can I ask you that question? Is Ryan Kent fit into the shape that Steven Gerrard plays more often than not, with this 4-3-3 shape? And if Gerrard's going to go with that 4-3-3, which he said he was going to, like with, very similar to the system that Klopp's playing, I don't think Ryan Kent fits into that system. He's a 4-4-2. He's a 4-4-2 player.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Blue Shadow. He doesn't fit into that system. And what he done there is when he dropped Daniel Candace to play Ryan Kent, obviously wanted to accommodate him in whatever way he could. I thought that was a wrong decision. I did say that I think that would happen. I think he'd bring Ryan Kent back in, and the only man I could see that would drop out would be Daniel Candace. And he did do that. But I thought it was a wrong decision. I thought he should have stuck with Daniel Candace. In that aspect.
Something else he said in that interview as well, I picked up, Jimmy, when he spoke about obviously Steve Davis signing on for a year and the lad at Motherwell, Hasty, signing as well. I think it was quite good to point out that Stephen Davis is basically here to win stuff next season, and Jake Hastie will be here so they've got an eye on everything now, Jimmy. That's the thing. We've actually got an eye on next season. We've got an eye on bringing young laddies through as well. And if it's young laddies for other clubs, that's just the way it's going to have to be. And I liked the way you said that. He kens next season's a big thing for us, but also the season's coming up is a big thing as well.
Aye, but you've got to remember, I mean, Jake Hastie, well, Glenn Middleton and Jake Hastie. Glenn Middleton's played more time for Rangers this season than Jake Hastie's played for Motherwell.
Yep.
So nobody's going to convince me that Hastie is going to come into the first team, because Glenn Middleton is a small bit part player of the squad as it stands now. So my it's not a worry, but or even a concern. My thinking is where does Jake Hastie fit in? I know we're saying he's one for the future, but where does he fit in? So is he going to be playing reserve football, under 23 football? What is he? Because is he better than Glenn Middleton? Should Glenn Middleton be there before him? And then
Jimmy, he's a bit of an enigma. He's out in the right wing, and yet he cuts inside with his left foot. No, that's totally unusual for a football player, especially for a winger.
Yeah,
he's playing outside right, and yet he cuts inside because he's left-footed. You would automatically think he should be playing in the left.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's a modern way to play wingers, though. They play them on the foot so they can cut in and.
Oh, aye, absolutely. But what I'm saying is Jimmy's right in what he's saying. Is he there to cover for Candeias? Is Candeias going to be? We don't know. But Jimmy's right in the sense I can't see that guy starting in our top 11. Just absolute no chance. So where is he? Is he just for cover, or is he for 2 years down the line? Do you know what I mean?
See my honest opinion, I'll go to Stardog, he's sitting in the background there. See my honest opinion, but boys, I think that we're bringing this young lad in to send him out on loan again. And I don't disagree with that, because I spoke about it last night as well. The young boy Lewis Ferguson was at Rangers and went to Hamilton, done quite good for a season and a half, and 2 seasons, 2.5, whatever it was, and he's away up to Aberdeen. Jimmy, I spoke to you about it before, and I said I think that young lad maybe do a job for us. He's maybe in 2 or 3 years' time. So if we can get these young laddies in and they work out for us, that's great. If they didn't work out, we can just punt them on again. But I think, honest opinion, I don't know what you think, Stardog, do you think he'll come in and then we'll put him out on loan again? Would that young laddie be told that already? Maybe this is what's going to happen, because the players we've got to bring in, you might not even be in the 25-man squad.
Well, Steven Gerrard said in that press conference there that Jake Hastie's going to be in the first team squad because he thinks it gives him that final bit of goal threat getting in for the right. So it sounds to me as if he's going to be in the squad next year.
Yeah.
But I just don't think, to me, mate, I just don't think that's good enough to win you a league overall, or even we talk about the European run we went on earlier on in the season. Like, we not want to make progress on that aspect at all. I don't even think they boys are good enough to get you through the qualifying round, never mind winning you a league. Like, I just don't. Maybe they will be good players, and I'm all for the future and things like that, but at the end of the day, we need to stop 9 in a row next year, and they're not the players that are going to help us there.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you totally.
I agree with Stardog as well, because the one thing that worries me about Hastie is he was up against Flanagan, and he had to get out of Flanagan's back pocket at the end of the game.
That's right. Flanagan played him out the game, Blue Shadow, didn't he?
And for me, Flanagan is not a top quality left back.
Correct.
So, so to come up against that, that's certainly a worry. As regards a player for the future, yeah, fair enough. But the thing that also as well that came up is we're reportedly to be due a £350,000 development fee. Now, you remember it was either last year, it was a couple of years ago now, I know, but Riyad Mahrez only cost Leicester £400,000.
Yeah.
So those players are out there.
Of course they
are. See these guys we're bringing in, I would like to think, and it's a horrible thing to say, but for where we're actually trying to go, Blue Star, next season, we're talking about next season, but where we're actually trying to go, I would like to think that the boy Jones and the boy Hastie, and even if the other boy for Aberdeen, if we get him, I would like to think they're near our first team next season.
George, totally agree with you, mate. The only thing I would say on that, I would maybe do, especially Jones for me, am I maybe doing him a disservice in the sense that I keep saying it. Whenever we brought in Kamara, I'll be truthful with you guys. I couldn't even remember seeing him on a park. I genuinely couldn't. I couldn't even have told you where he was playing. Now, we've seen the difference since he came in. Is it a case that Stevie G's looked at some of these guys and says, wait a minute, I can fit them in. I think they've got it. If that's the case, then we can only tell whenever we see them. But I'm like yourself. Are they going to be in our team next season to take us forward when we know we've got to push for the championship? I can't see it, guys. I really and definitely can't see it. For me, they players are still to be brought in.
That point you're making there about Kamara, but I mean, that's absolutely bang on what you're saying. I think Kamara's been a great signing for us for 50 grand. And you're maybe going to get one of them every now and again, Blue Shadow. You're maybe going to get one of these guys coming in and you're thinking he's been a great signing. But that's where I'm keeping my hopes, because see, at the end of the day, if these guys can't date for Kamara, if I can date for Kamara, maybe not be able to date for Rangers, but the boy Kamara done it absolutely brilliant for us in the last couple of games. So if they can come in and be half the player, we'll maybe get a wee player on our hands. So that's where I'm keeping my hope. But I don't think these guys. See, to be honest, I'm not want to say this. I wouldn't say it too often, but I hope these guys can get out of their squad and our team next year, because it means we've got better quality than what they actually they can give us, Blue Shadow.
I'd love to see that, because I remember I was one of the ones that I wasn't sure on. Certainly the Jones lad, and then he went and signed for us and scored the goal that beat. I think that actually beat us. And also after that, towards the end of the game, he was taking the mick. He was taking the mick out of Tavernier. He was showing him up big style. So at the end of the game, so maybe he has got a bit more than I thought he had.
I hope I'm wrong, guys. Sorry, Blue Shadow. I hope I'm wrong. For me, he's the exact same as that other Egypt we brought in for St Johnstone. He has a bit of pace, but when we got him, we hardly even seen that guy running with a ball. They couldn't fit him in the team at all. And for me, I hope I'm wrong, but to me, Jones is near enough the same type of player. He doesn't score goals, guys. Even for Kelly, he got a couple, but he wasn't a goal scorer.
I thought he was as well, but the fact is, as I said, when he came on, he scored that goal against us, and then he proceeded to rip Tavernier a new one, and Tavernier was just sick of him by the end of the game. You could see it in his face. So I think the laddie has got a bit more about him. So
George, would you agree? If you look at all we're signing so far under Stevie G, would you agree? For me, I would have to say out with the players that cost big money and everything. For me, his best signing to date, for what he paid, it's probably Kamara.
Aye, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm with you, what you said there. When you've said you probably hadn't seen the guy playing or noticed him, again, a few folk are saying, I always thought he was a good player. Me personally, I've seen him playing, I think it was 6 times he's played against Rangers over the last couple of years, and I never even noticed him.
No, I'm the same.
And I honestly never noticed him at all. But when you think 50 grand, and then a lot of people were saying I wouldn't couldn't give him the money this week to the end of the season and bring him in, but they're obviously finding players. They're obviously seeing something that maybe can route with our pay bracket we can't see. So it's obviously a good thing. See, just go on to it.
George, just before you go into the Hingway, just say, remember any callers and that if you want to call in. It's 0141 356 1972. You can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online. If you come into Skype, you may notice that you may be cut off, but don't worry about that. The Foxman will call you straight back.
Good shout, Jimmy.
Sorry, George.
Has George been cut off?
I was doing a Bridgeman there just because Bridgeman's not here. Just going to the next bit of the interview there, Jimmy. What do you make about what Scott Arfield was saying? I liked the way he spoke, and Steven Gerrard turning around and saying the man standing beside him will talk to him live to his face, and I love him. I think there maybe is a wee bit interested fella folk there, Jimmy. I can understand why, because I think he's come on again the last few.
I'll give you insight. I know somebody who knows Scott Arfield, right? And Scott Arfield's been trying to play for Rangers for the last 5 years, right? Scott Arfield was desperate to come back to Glasgow, Scotland, and when Rangers came in, he was absolutely delighted. And I think, listening to it the other day, when I listened to it, I went over to it and I'm in silence because obviously the show's on, and I could see in his face, he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to be a Rangers player. And his comments about his family's happy here, he's settled here, he's where he is now and he's comfortable, and the gaffer knows that, and that's pleasing. That could be the next Rangers captain if Tavernier's not here next season. So he's happy to be here, and he's coming on to good games.
I like the way you answered the questions in that, Jimmy. I mean, you're hanging me for saying about money talks and BS walks, and that's fair enough. But the way he spoke today, Jim, it was like I think he's enjoying his time and his family's settled here. He's playing his football. He could probably go down there and double the money, maybe treble the money he's actually getting. I think he's come on to a game the last few weeks, Blue Star. And I think if we need to hold on to guys like him, if we're about to build our squad, we're talking about 4 and 5 players we need for our first team, first 11. That's guys we need to hold on to. Scott Arfield, and I think when you see, no offence to Wee Alfredo because he's still a young laddie, but when you see guys like Jermaine Defoe playing around about him with that older head and that, I think Scott Arfield's got the intelligence to play alongside anybody, Blue Star.
Absolutely, and that's something coming from me. As you all know, I've hammered Arfield since the start of the season, guys. For me, for a long time there, I don't know whether he was in the right position though, but if he was playing to score goals, I've got to be honest, he didn't do it, and he still hasn't done it for me. If he's there as a so-called half goal scorer, I know he's scored 4 in the last 4 games, but remember 3 of them was in one game. What I would say is I've watched Defoe shouting at him repeatedly in the 4 games, and he keeps pointing to him, telling him where to go. And I think the wee guy's listening. And I know he's an experienced player, but he wasn't playing this role we've got him when he was playing with Burnley. He was playing as a hard-blooded midfielder trying to break forward. Now, when he started there the first half of the season, he wasn't playing that way for us. But now, Defoe's, since he's come in with Defoe, he seems to be running into better areas, taking defenders with him, etc., etc. And that's only good for us. So I would say now he's turning the tide with me. I think he is learning. I think it's took him time to learn where the players run about him. And without a shadow of a doubt, since Alfredo's went out the team, Arfield's shown probably more than any other player along with Defoe. There's no doubt about that.
At the start of the season, Blue Star, I was quite... I was maybe the same as you, maybe a bit hard on. I expected massive things from him because he came to the English Premiership, but he has come on again in the last few games. So if we can get guys like that quality run about him and better quality, and even the next level for him, maybe that's what we need. But do you reckon, Doug, in his interview today, how do you think he came across with the way he spoke and what he said about the club?
I liked it, but I wasn't very reassured when Gerrard turned around and says Scott knows or everybody's got their price, and then turned around and gave him a canoe. That was never very reassuring for me, to be honest with you. I hope the guy stays. I think he's a quality football player, and I think, like you say, if we pushed him a bit further forward, we've seen that quality for him, and I really do hope that he is there next season. But David J seems to say everybody's got a price, so we'll see what happens during the summer. But I really do hope he stays, because I like the guy.
I am the same. I do like him. Blue Shadow, I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. I'm going to go in a wee bit. I'm going to ask you the $1 million question about Sunday's game. Does Morelos start, Blue Shadow? Does he start on the bench? How do you see it going? I mean, it's the one I think I heard somebody saying tonight that it doesn't have to be Defoe that gets dropped. It could be Arfield. It could be somebody else running about him. But how do you see that on Sunday, Blue Shadow?
Well, for me, I'd like to see Alfredo starting from the bench. It's his own fault, it's his own fault he's ended up where he is. And I would like the message to be put forward, no matter who you are, how many goals you've scored, you've got to, if you get yourself kicked out of the team for 4 matches or however long it is, you've got to work your way back in. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't bring him on at some point. I'd love to see Defoe in the middle and perhaps Morelos coming in from that left-hand side like he was a couple of seasons ago and just see how it works. because it's going to be a right good test. And I'll tell you, someone else, if that Heckenbottom, whatever his damn name is, gets a few quid over the summer to strengthen that team, they're going to be a major factor next year on where the trophy goes, because they're going to be a difficult team to beat for me. It's
a nice problem to have, but isn't it, really? I mean, for me personally, the other night there I says that I wouldn't change a winning team, Jimmy. I really wouldn't. I would like to just maybe keep the same team and try and get the 3 points on Sunday against this team and leave with Alfredo on the bench. But that's an awful decision to make for anybody, Jimmy. For a guy scored this amount of goals, and you're going to leave him on the bench. But what Steven Gerrard said in the interview, again, he looks like he's in a huff and things like that. He's disappointed he's not playing. So he's hungry, Jimmy. He's hungry.
Aye, well, I'm the same as Blue Shadow, and I'm on record here as saying it, and I know myself and Fox have had a few verbals about it. Friendly verbals, because I can see Fox's point of view, and I know you can see mine, but for me, it's Fred starts on the bench. And I keep saying, if it's no broke, don't try and fix it. So let it go as it is. It's his own fault, as Blue Shadow said. Okay, I know some of the times he get booked or get sent off, and we all shout it and bawled, "Oh, that was wrong," now. But a lot of the times it was his own fault. So he's got to take his medicine and just and grin and bear it. So for me, same 11. Depending what happens with Jack, there's a wee possibility there. I've heard that he might have a wee infection, a throat infection. But for me, Alfredo stays on the bench and bring him on if needed. So I'm quite happy with that. But whatever the manager decides, he'll get my support the same as all you guys. So for me, Fred stays on the bench, guys.
It's a good problem to have, but isn't it, Jimmy Kenny? It's a good problem to have. Do you bring on Alfredo? What do you reckon, Blue Star? How do you see that one going? Like I say, it is a good problem to have. Maybe a bit of a headache for Steven Gerrard, but do you keep Alfredo on the bench and bring him on angry, or do you start him for the starting? I think give him the respect he's actually due. Even though I'm saying I don't think I would start with him. I think for the goals he scored, I think he should be. It should always be there or thereabouts in your team.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I don't think for the life of me Stevie G will start him. He might prove his all wrong. I'm like Jimmy, I'm like Blue Shadow, I'm like yourself, George. He's a top goal scorer in our league, without a shadow of a doubt. But does he start? No, he doesn't. He starts on the bench, and as you say, it's a great shout to have that you've got somebody like that on the bench that up until 4 games ago was an automatic starter. That's only great to have. We can bring on the top goal scorer in the league. But for me, definitely no. You can't break the winning team. They've went on the longest run we've done since the start of the season, winning 4 games. You've got to keep that going. Simple as.
That's some fire line, but when you think about it, Jermaine Defoe, Alfredo, because I think Defoe's come on to a really good game. He's not scoring a barrel load of goals. Stardug will come here. He's not scoring a barrel load of goals, but he is coming on to a game. He's quite intelligent. He's scoring goals. If Alfredo plays up front as well, I don't know if it'd be Arfield that get dropped or Arfield at the back of him, and then you've maybe got Kent on one side. I mean, that's some fire line. And what Fox was saying the other night, that you could maybe play Alfredo on the right, and drop Candias, Stardug. How do you see it going?
I like that idea and things like that, but like we've all said on here a million times, you can't change a winning team, mate. And even Stevie G said it today, his loyalty players, Jermaine Defoe, you've just said there, George, he's been brilliant. So he has the 4 games he's come in, he's got sharpness about him now, like, albeit he never scored the last game, but he scored in every game for us. He's been involved in goals. I just think you can't take him out. I would have to put Manel also on the bench, so I would, like, it breaks my head to say, because I love him, mate, and on his goals alone he should be in the team, but I just don't think, like you say, 4 games in a row now, it's the longest we've done that all season, so he's got to step on the bench, you've got to step with Defoe, you can't change a winning team, mate. We say that all the time on here, so we've got to stick by our word, don't we?
Yeah.
We've kind of all agreed, Jimmy, about the starting lineup, and maybe Alfredo would come off the bench, but like I says there, we need to beat this team, Jimmy. That's about, we need to beat this team. You said it last week about Aberdeen playing them off the park, but they're getting the points against us. That's the difference. At the end of the season, it doesn't say Rangers have had 3 points or 4 points against this team, I'll say that, but they should have played them off the park. It says how many points you've got to admit the statistics, and that's it, Jimmy. We've got to beat this team on Sunday, so if you've got a firing line, Alfredo Morelos up front and Jermaine Defoe, I don't think he'll do that, because I don't think that's the way Steven Gerrard wants your Rangers team to play. I think he'll go with 2 wingers, 1 striker up front with Arfield at the back, but it is some firing line if you think about it, Jimmy. Knew that Morelos, Arfield said he's Defoe's had the game to play, Jimmy.
Yeah, of course it is. And that's the way you probably will play with Fredo on the bench. But as I said at the start of the show the night we were talking, or before we come on, this is the best team we're going to play in a few weeks. In the last, 7, 8, 9 weeks. Take the puddle drinkers out. This Hibs team, the Spoon Burners, are a good team. They've lost 1 game against the puddle drinkers in the cup.
Jimmy, I think you're bang on there, mate. Sorry for interrupting. See the run they're on now. I don't think another team. I think Kelly went 10 games unbeaten, certainly. But even Celtic haven't went on as good a run as what that guy's had. They've had 1 defeat. What is it in 10?
Yep, and that's why Sunday's game. Well, what I'm hoping is going to be a good game, a rip snorting game, a game that we can go and play good football. Because the Spoon Burners like to play football, and this guy's got them playing decent football. And you're only about Blue Shadow say there, even if they add 3 or 4 players to their team next season, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with next season. If Higginbottom's still there, and it hurts me to say it, they play some lovely football. I've watched a couple of their live. I'd rather watch them do the popcorn mouse, their manager, than watch it else. But I tell you one thing, they'll give us a hard game on Sunday, so we need to be up for it. So for me, Alfredo at the moment is surplus the requirements for that 11 on the day. Put him on the bench and see what happens. I'm not worried about him being sent off or booked or that. That's not my thinking. I just keep saying, and I'll say it again, if it's no broke, don't try and fix it. So play the same team.
That midfielder there has got a couple of young lads in there that have been in there for a couple of seasons now, and they're just coming to fully fledged. So that's going to be a battle tomorrow. It's a real shame.
They're a good team, Blue Shadow, aren't they?
Oh well, they're getting there. It's one of those teams. As I said, they're young players they've got in that midfield engine, and they're if they can hold on to them for another couple of years, they're going to be a real handful. And I think for me, not because it's folks don't go believe that I'm saying this against them, but it's the fact I wouldn't place Morelos on the right. He's played there twice, and that I can remember, and twice he's been absolutely bogging across on that right hand side.
It wasn't good there at all.
I don't know why it is, but he just said that he doesn't seem to like it across the area. He wants to be in the centre, but the fact is he can come in from the left. And the wonderful thing with Defoe is they're absolutely terrified of him, because they know they give him half a yard, he'll pull the trigger. And if he runs to one side, he can take 2 or 3 defenders with him just because they're scared of him, and that leaves room for other players.
Just goes to show what a shrewd bit of business it really was. I mean, what's that, Jimmy? Is that 4 games that Alfredo's missed? Is it 5 games? 4 games?
4. That's his 4th game, aye.
4 games, and Jermaine Defoe's come in and done the business for us. Steve Davis has had a few games as well and really come out of a game. So it turns out to be even though at the start when we were thinking we weren't fit in that, it's actually turned out to be a good shrewd bit of business for us to get that guy in, because where would we be if we never had, we've been left with a big Lafferty up front. We're not saying Lafferty's terrible or anything like that, but I don't think he's got the quality or the mindset of Jermaine Defoe, Jimmy. So it is another shrewd bit of business for us to get a guy like that in, and I don't think we would have been able to get a guy like that in if it wasn't for likes of Steven Gerrard, Jimmy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the manager's his pedigree there as a player and the contacts he's got. He's came up here and he's tried to use that to the best of his ability, and he's brought in some decent players. And Jermaine Defoe could be the one who allows others to come and follow him. And there has been a few guys mentioned, and we're not going to mention the new because we know it might be pie in the sky, but there's some decent players, really good players, who could follow Jermaine Defoe to Ibrox, and that's because Steven Gerrard's there. So we just need to wait and see what comes your way for the start of next season. But as I said earlier on, guys, I'm really looking forward to next season. No, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 games. But next season, I'm actually excited. You know, I've been going to see the Jers a long, long time, but I can see things starting to come together here now, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm hoping in my 63rd birthday next season that we become champions again, and that would be absolutely wonderful. And that's something I've got to be honest, I never thought I could say that again. When we were 7 years ago, I thought we're never going to do this. But you know something, I'm believing now, and I believe in Steve Gerrard. They need to back him.
We were doing a black coach. I mean, you're right what you're saying. Yep. Maybe in the back of your mind you thought maybe it'll never ever happen. You're just glad to be able to still go and see the Rangers and things like that. But I think that's maybe why we keep going back to going forward to next season, because we all can it was quantity rather than quality this season. Sure. I think it's opposite next season. So I think Blue Star, I think that's why we're so excited about next season, because I think we've got the capability of doing it now, when maybe a couple of years ago we thought maybe we'll never do, like Jimmy's saying, Blue.
Exactly. Jimmy's talking about what happened 7 years ago. Let's not forget, go back 2 years ago when we had that wee blooming guy in charges. Guys, we were an embarrassment. We were a laughingstock. Let's not kid ourselves in here. And I still fault the board, whoever it was that brought that guy in. The wee guy just didn't have a clue. Let's no mince our words here. So really, it's not even 7 years, and I'm agreeing with what Jimmy's saying. 7 years ago, we were all panicking. Let's be truthful here. But 2 years ago, look at the state we were in. Look at the money that was wasted. Look at the guys that came in that couldn't even bloom and run. So to come for there 2 years ago under Pedro, to what Stevie G's actually done this season, it's remarkable. Because what we
that
were
was
doing,
only last season.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, So look at the difference just over a season and a half, maybe. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. So as Jimmy says, we're all dying to see just who else is going to come into our club for us to push on next season, and that's why I still think the next 3 games are mega important. See if we win the 3 games, guys. That's going to give our whole squad in pre-season a massive bit of confidence. It really is. It'll give our whole club, it gives all our fans and everything. As Jimmy says, it gets us believing that we're really going to push them next season and go get that number 55.
Yep.
So if we also agree, then it probably will be the same starting 11 in Sunday. Blue Shadow, do you think it'll be as close to the starting 11 as it was played last week against the Sheep, or do you think there'll be any differences at all?
No, I would certainly hope so. Obviously the big question is going to be whether Ryan Jack's going to be fit enough, and then up against that midfield, that Spoonburner midfield, where you're going to have to graft and fight for the ball. It would be great to have Ryan Jack in there. So I think if he does, he'll have Kamara. He'll bring in probably McCrory, because he's a bit of fight in midfield, along with who else is in midfield?
Kamara.
I said Kamara. Yeah, Arfield. So you got up front, Kent, Defoe, and who else? Candeias.
And Candeias will be there, right? So do you think it'll just be a straight swap for if Jack's not playing? McCrory will go in there. Do you think it'll just be as simple as putting him right in there then? Blue Shadow, aye.
I would think so, because you need a bit of bite in there, and of course Davis pulling the strings.
Well, don't forget that guy Polster could maybe come in. I know he's maybe a defensive type, but seemingly he can play in midfield as well. Maybe he's an option for Stevie G as well. We really don't know. It depends if there's an injury or not to Jack.
Do you think the back 5 will be the same then? Everybody will agree with that. The back 5 will be the same with Flanagan, the 2 centre halves, Katic getting another game, and the captain obviously right back. Do you think that'll be the back 4, and then the midfield? I think it'll just be that one up for grabs, and then do you think it'll just be a straight spot between Alfredo and Defoe, whether he plays or not? Do you not think he'll scramble that about any Blue Star? Do you not think he'll scramble about? Do you just think it's one in, one out?
Can I see it, George? He'll play Davis in front of the 4 you mentioned. and the rest of the team, it'll be the same as the last Sunday's game, without a doubt. I've put it this way: see if he doesn't, and he starts with Alfredo, I'll be absolutely shocked, and I think most days would be. I really would.
I wouldn't be.
Oh, I know. Well, right enough, folks. You wouldn't be. I know that, but I would be in the sense that he would be disrupt. For me, he'd be disrupting a winning side. But you might be right. He might start him. Who knows?
I'd like to see.
You just bring him straight in then, Fox. Is that what you think, Fox? Just bring him straight in for and put him straight back in the starting lineup. Where do you see him coming in then, Fox? And who do you see dropping out for him?
We're at home, guys. We need to win this game. I would go with our normal back four, which has been for the last few games: Flanagan, Katic, Goldson and Tav. But I would play that kind of diamond in midfield, Kamara, Jack Davis and Arfield, and two up front, mate. And Morelos and Defoe.
So you don't think he'll play with a winger at all then?
No, not at home, mate. I don't think it's desperate to his have I think Kent might be a doubt anyway. And I think he wants to get goals scored, mate. And I think we've got a good presence on the right with Tav, mate, to get forward and swing balls into the box. John Flanagan get up the park, but that'd be up to the left-hand side of midfield and Kamara to start passing balls into day two in the middle as well. I just think the diamond in the middle seems to work, where Davis drops back to be the deep line playmaker.
Sweeper. Aye. You might be right, folks. You might be right,
takes the balls off the central defenders, starts the moves, and then gets forward again. Kamara and Jack kind of tend to sit in the midfield, but Arfield, I think our front three, Arfield sitting behind Defoe and Morelos, looks to me as though it gives us plenty of options.
Big midfield battle bit against folks. Ken, that's the way it's always been, as a midfield battle, because I think we play Shadow saying that midfield is quite a good midfield, a strong midfield. Young laddies wanting to fight for each other and that, so I think it's got to be a bit of a midfield battle. I think if Jack's not playing, Fox, I think it's a big miss for us on Sunday, actually.
I'm not saying Jack will not play. I was saying taking Kent and Candias out the firing line, mate.
What I'm saying is, Ken, Steven Gerrard said he's really the only doubt. First Sunday's Ryan Jack, he's not really trained this week, so I think if he doesn't make it to play on Sunday, I think he'll be a big loss for the midfield, because I think it will be a bit of a battle.
Right, correct, mate. Probably right. Well, if Jack doesn't play, mate, we'll just go with a straight four at the back, three in midfield, Kamara, Davis, and who else is there? I would then bring Ryan Kent in, mate, there, but I'd still go with the three up front as being Morelos, Defoe, and Scotty Arfield, mate.
I would say that because it makes it awfully light in midfield there, and there is a change in the system again. But for me, I'd bring Morelos off the bench. I want to see what Morelos and Defoe can do together, and see how they can get fit in.
I think it'll be an open game of football. Hibs will only sit back, and as long as we get the attitude right, where be first to the ball, get the ball. If you can't win the ball, get yourself in a position to win it back. Because if you're in control of the ball, you're in control of the game, and that's what I hope we do in Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I was saying about Fox, it's a great problem to have, a great worry to have, whether you play a guy who scored 30 goals this season or whether you play Jermaine Defoe. So it is a good problem, and I'm not saying that's the only way it's got to be. For me, I think it will be. I don't think we'll go a 4-4-2 like you're saying. So I think that is definitely a good problem to have for the manager. Like, and it's maybe something we could have been doing near the start of the season, folks.
So about opinions, and I just think the manager knows the threat that Alfie brings. I don't think Candias or Kent bring the same threat as Morelos. Morelos can beat a man, he can pass a ball this season, which he wouldn't have done last season. He's strong. The likes of, like Hanlon and Big McGregor's going to be at the back, mate. There'll be oil at the top of them, but both of them are capable of making room for themselves, Defoe and Morelos.
Potts and that guy Gray is a dirty animal.
Aye, well,
Guy
that's
Gray,
just
mind
part of
him.
it.
Oh.
Aye, but football-wise, I think we'll outplay them and get a result.
Well, as Jimmy said earlier on, guys, their manager Higginbotham's already come out and told the press they're coming out to attack. They're not going to sit in. He says they're going to have a real go, and I believe him. That's the way they've been playing. So teams that are usually have a go at us, that suits our style of play. It definitely does. So I'm looking forward to it.
They can still qualify for Europe, Blue Star.
Of course they can. Of course they can.
They can still qualify for Europe.
As Jimmy's been saying all night, George, they're on a brilliant run. They really are, aren't they, Jimmy?
Oh, they're. I said at the very, very start. This is probably our hardest game in the last couple of months. You know, let's not watch. I've watched them. I think Mace you have as well. Whether you watch them in highlights or live, this guy's got them playing some good football.
Aye,
and that'll be. Do you know this will be a great test for us on Sunday. It will show us what kind of team we are. Because we can attack and we know we can, and it should be a really, really open game. Look, Hibs have showed all season that they want to attack. Even under Popcorn, they went against, they had a go at us. But this guy's got them playing some good football, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Whether Fred's playing or Defoe's playing, I don't really care. I want us to go out there on the day and perform the way I know we can. But I'm hoping that we're in for a rip-snorting game. I think it's going to be a cracking game, guys. I'm really... you can hear my voice. I'm looking forward to it. Excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
How do you see it going anyway? Last couple of minutes. How do you see it going in Sunday start? How do you think we'll perform? How do you think the score will be on Sunday?
I think it'll be a comfortable one for us Saturday, George. I think we'll win comfortably. Just on the team, but does anybody think if Jack does miss it, and the day play McCrory, we'll see Graham Dorrans at some point?
No.
Because Graham Dorrans is still 3 weeks away. I don't think he'll play this season.
You don't think he'll play again, no?
I don't think he will. Again, a couple of weeks, was it last week there, Stephen Gerrard said that...
aye, that's what I was going to say, aye.
He's maybe pushing to maybe get near the last couple of games, but Murphy Wilney, I don't think we'll see any of the guys. I think it's like I said at the start there, when the young laddies maybe pushing to get a game. I think we need to win these games first and foremost before we actually start to bring young laddies in, or even take a chance on the likes of Graham Dorrans and that. Graham Dorrans does well and maybe gets back in the squad next season.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's ideal that we're playing Hibs anyway, because they will come and they will try and play football and that. So I think it's ideal. I think we'll tear them apart. I think we'll win 3-0 at the weekend. So I think it'll be a comfortable win for us.
What do you think, Blue Shadow? What do you think?
I think it's going to be tight, mate. I think it's going to be close. There'll be a goal in it. I'm not quite sure if it'll be 1-0, 2-1 or something like that, but I think it's going to be real tight. He's got them playing real well. They've got a midfield that's full of energy. They're going to come and they say they're going to come and have a go at us, which is great, and it's going to create a really good game for me. If I could just briefly, although it's slightly off subject, but say well done to the lads that won the under-18 championship today. That's them qualified for the UEFA, is it UEFA Youth Cup, which is brilliant, and that includes a lot of the guys from the Alcast Cup as well.
I actually meant to go on that night, Blue Shadow, but I've just been the interview and everybody having their say.
Leaves it for tomorrow night, mate. Leaves it for tomorrow night. No problem.
But it's a great achievement with the young laddies. It's absolutely brilliant. I think that's the young lads that win that, and I know they're into that other cup. So absolutely brilliant for it. It's more positive stuff for our club to take forward. How do you see it going on Sunday, Jimmy? What do you see? I think it'll be quite a tough game. I don't think we'll ever have an easy game against that lot.
Yeah, I'm the same as yourself, the same as the Blue Shadow. I think it'll be tight. I know Stardug's saying he thinks we'll learn them, but I'm going for 2-1, 2-0. You know, I think it will be a tight game. I think we're up for it. They'll be up for it against us tomorrow. This guy's got them playing good football, guys. Don't underestimate them. No, never mind who they had as in the past as manager. This guy he's a good manager, and he's got them playing some good football. So I'll go 2-0 to the Gers.
You got Battle Fever on, Jimmy?
Battle Fever's on. Blue Shadow as always. I'm meeting a few of my homies in.
How do you see it going on Sunday, Blue Star? What do you reckon the score will be, and how do you think the game will pan out on Sunday?
I don't think it'll be a walkover, George. I think it'll be a tight game. I think we might do it 2-1 or 3-2, some 3-1 hopefully. But I think they'll come and have a right go at us. I definitely do. I don't think they can. He's got them sitting back at all. He's got them attacking. And I'm like Jimmy. I'm really excited. I think it'll be a cracking game. I really do. I think they're the informed team now. I genuinely do. As we are.
I think they've robbed us this season. I really do. And I'm not just saying that, boys. I think they've robbed points off us this season. Like I said earlier on, the one each game, the nothing game, sorry. That was a pounding we gave them that night. And we couldn't put the ball in the back of the pocket. I think they've been lucky against us a few games this season. So I think it's time for us to actually take the points. Take points off them on Sunday. We really need to win this game. Like Jimmy was saying earlier on, it's time for us to near 3 games to the end of the season. Let's try and get these three wins, 9 points, and see where it takes us to the end of the season, because it is only a shoestring, but there's still a chance of us getting something out this season. So let's just hope. Can I just say that's just for the night, boys? Can I just say thanks to everybody for phoning up and making it easy for me to stand here and do the conducting a wee bit. We'll be back on Sunday with the pre-match show. Half an hour before kick-off. So Fox, thanks for everybody, Jimmy and Blue Star, Blue Shadow, Fox in the background, and Star Dog, everybody for helping me out. Cheers a lot. Fox, you take your tune away, mate.
Goodbye, George.
Well done, guys.
Well done, George.